I'm Andrea, the contest coordinator here at the American Quilter Society. Congratulations on having a quilt juried into an AQS show. You can now complete all of your return paperwork in 15 minutes or less online. It's quick and easy. Here, let me show you. Let's begin on our website at quiltweek.com. Once that loads, we'll want to click on the word contest. And you will see the table down here with all of the contests listed. For this purpose, let's say we're going to enter Lancaster, so we're going to click Now Open. Click on Enter the Contest. Complete our information. Everyone will select this AQS registration. I do want to point out that you'll want to be sure to use the matching email address, the same email address that you used when you signed up for your membership. That way you can get the membership pricing. Also, all correspondence will go through this email as well. One other note is this site does not support iPads, tablets, or smart devices, so you will want to use something other than one of these. Click Next. And here's where we want to put our contact and address information. Sometimes this will pre-populate if we have already entered a contest or it's found our membership information. I do highly recommend, if you have a cell phone, to put it in there. That's very helpful when you're traveling to the show or you're present at the show and we're trying to get in touch with you. So if you have this, please give us that information. Once you finish, click Next. Here is where you will upload your headshot. So you will click Add File, choose File, find where the file is on your computer, and select it, upload. I do want to point out that, as you notice, this uploaded very fast. Right there, that photo is. On some computers, this can take 2 to 3 minutes depending on the connection speed. And while it's working, there is no little wheel that spins or bar that loads, and a lot of people will think that it's not doing anything. But like when I'm at home, sometimes I have to walk away and go fix myself a glass of tea or something. When I come back, it'll finally be uploaded. So if it's taking a little bit of time, just give it a minute. If it pops up an error right away and will not upload your photo, check the size. It may be too large, and also make sure that it's saved as a JPEG. These items here are all optional. This is the email address of your local newspaper, the name of your local newspaper. We'd like to know more about our quilters, so we ask that you give us a little known fact about yourself here. And here is where you can add any notes. Let's say there's a different contact person other than the entrant, or maybe you have an alternative email address. Any information like that that you think we need to know, you can add that right here. So after you complete these, you can hit Next. This is where you can join or renew your membership. If you do not want to join or renew at this time, we simply click Next. I do want to point out before we move forward that all of our contests look very similar except for Grand Rapids. In Grand Rapids, we also have what's called the Ultimate Guild Challenge. So if you are registering for that event, you'll notice that right below this section right here, you will have contest entry only, if you're only entering the contest, Ultimate Guild Challenge only, if you're only entering the challenge, and then you have contest entry and Ultimate Guild Challenge. That's if you're entering both. So if you're entering that contest, you're going to want to select from the 3 choices down here how you are entering, and then click the Next button. Here is where we actually add our quilts. So you will click Add Quilt. We will select the category that we are entering. In the Ultimate Guild Challenge, that will be an option down here. It will say Ultimate Guild Challenge Entry. So I'm going to say I'm entering a wall quilt home machine. This entrant name, this is what we put on the quilt tag and in the show book. So however you would like your name to appear, that's how you're going to want to write it. if you have a nickname or something, make sure that you put it in there exactly as you want it to appear on that quilt tag and in the show book. Then your quilt title. We noticed last year that we had an issue with the quilt title not completely fitting, so if you have an extra long quilt title, there is an extra line here where you can put anything that does not fit. This here is if you have more than one entrant name. Let's say you and a friend quilted this quilt and you want both names on the quilt tag and in the show book. This is where you can put those additional names up to 2 other names. I do have the question often about the quilter. If you would like to give credit to the quilter, there is a section that you fill out that asks who quilted this quilt, and in the show book, in your description, credit will be given to the quilter there. So you have a choice. You can add the quilter as an entrant name, which means they will be in the show book and on the quilt tag with your name, or you can add the quilter in that section where it will appear in the description of the quilt and give credit to the quilter. So once you're finished here, you click Next. This is where it asks you to confirm the category you entered. I entered the wall quilt category, so I'm going to select that option. The size of my quilt. Upload the full image of my quilt. If you are a group or a team of quilters, this is where you would upload a photo of the entire group. Then it's going to ask the quilting method, the technique, and this is for the show book. So we ask that you use 25 words or less, and we write everything in our show book in third person, so that's the way I'm going to write it here. Next, it's going to ask who quilted this quilt. This is where you write the quilter's name, and if you did not add your quilter in the entrant name, you can add it here and they will show up and the credit will be given in the description in the show book. If you quilted this quilt and no one else quilted it, you would type self. Then it asks if anyone other than yourself and the quilter did any stitching on the quilt. If they did, you would click yes, and then you see the option to list their names. If not, just click no. Now it's going to ask the value of your quilt. Remember, anything over 1,000 requires an appraisal to be uploaded. So I can click 1,000 and I can continue. If I click 1,500, then I'm going to have to add my appraisal. It will not let me continue. So to add appraisal, you do the same thing as when you were uploading the photos. And you see there it is. Now it's going to ask me the source of my design. If your design is not original, let's say you used a pattern, it's going to ask you to provide that information and give you the place to upload your design permission. But I'm just going to say that for this purpose, it's original. I do want to show you one thing before we continue. I'm going to go up here and just not answer this question. And I'm going to hit next. You see it's like nothing happened, even if I hit next again. If at any point when you're going through this, you hit next and nothing happens, if you will scroll back up to the top of the page, you will see it will tell you exactly why you cannot continue. So here it's telling me I have to answer this question in order to continue. So now if I scroll back down and answer that question, I can now continue. So now it's brought us back to this page where we can add yet another quilt. So if you're adding more than one quilt, right here is where you would do add another quilt. For Grand Rapids Ultimate Guild Challenge, you would continue to add another quilt until all 8 have been added. You would hit add a quilt, And then when you got to the category, you would select the Ultimate Guild Challenge again, and it will allow you to do that 8 times before that category disappears, because that's the number that you are supposed to enter into that challenge. And then if you are also entering a quilt of your own, in addition to the Ultimate Guild Challenge in Grand Rapids, you would still hit Add Another Quilt and then select the category and answer the questions for yourself. Once you have entered all of the quilts that you are entering, if it's only one or you've entered additional quilts, you would hit Next. This is our summary page. You see I have the primary entrant there, which is me, and then this is my entrant name and the title of my quilt. And if I had more than one quilt, I would have another arrow here with my entrant name and the title of that quilt, and it would continue for the number of quilts that I had. So here you hit Proceed to Checkout, and you see my contest entry, and it shows what I entered and my total. So you would enter your payment information, agree to the terms and conditions, and then click Finish. Now when you click Finish, you will see 2 little wheels spin right here while it's processing. Do not close this screen while it's processing. Once it is completed, you will receive an email almost instantly that looks like this one here. If you do not receive that email in 10 to 15 minutes, you will want to contact one of the contest coordinators here at AQS, because something has gone wrong with the entry. It could be simply that your email address was typed in wrong and we need to correct it, or maybe there was a true problem with your entry and we need to try to help you work through that. And at any time, if you have any questions or need any help during the process, please don't hesitate to contact us. That's what we're here for. We look forward to seeing your quilt entries.